And in my experience, I've made gains consuming much less protein than that. All right, so let's get started with this tier list. So for those of you who are not familiar with what a tier list is, I think it started in either the gaming or the anime world, and it's just basically a list where you rank, characters or foods in this case from best at the top to the very worst. So the biggest factor is how much protein it has. Next food is tofu. Let's go. I love tofu. I eat it many times a week, probably one of my favorite foods. And I know there's a lot of chatter about it being not so good for you because people are worried about like their hormones and it's gonna give you like man boobs or whatever, but that's definitely not the case. And if anybody would have man boobs by now from eating tofu, like I eat it many times a week and I've done this for many years now, so it definitely would be this guy and I don't. But if you wanna learn more about tofu, I do have a great video where I go into tofu and all of the concerns and everything around it, and I will link that in the description box down below. So extra firm tofu contains 12 grams of protein per 100 calories. Well, actually all tofu should contain about the same amount of protein per calorie. It's just that extra firm tofu is going to be a lot more dense of a source. And then something like soft tofu is going to have a lot more water in it, so it's not going to be as dense. So per gram, it's not, extra firm tofu is going to have more, but per calorie, they should all be the same. A lot of people say that it's a highly processed food, and I would have to disagree. I would say that it's a minimally processed food. There's really nothing added to it, and not much taken away except for some of the carbs and some of the fiber. So I think you know where I'm gonna put tofu. I mean, it's easy to eat, relatively cheap. It is so easy to make delicious. There's so many different ways you can cook from it. Look how much leucine it has in it. So this is definitely one amazing food for bodybuilding, super anabolic, and it is gonna have to go in the S tier. If there was one above that, I'd probably put it there. All right, I guess it makes sense to move into tempeh next. So tempeh, also made from soybeans. However, the soybeans have been fermented, making it more digestible and more bioavailable. In my opinion, not quite as tasty as tofu, but it definitely has potential if you know how to cook it. So it's definitely less processed than tofu and not quite as much protein, not quite as much leucine. So A or S tier. I think because the protein content is lower, and considering, it's still healthy, but it's like not quite as delicious as tofu, I think I'm gonna put it into the A tier. Edamame.